Right there, Latin 2. Cornelia is getting married. Woohoo! So here we go. Take a look at page 285, and you can see a bunch of words that you already know, but a bunch of ones that you don't. So you're going to need to read that. Toga praetexta, obviously, that's what we talked about. So she also has to dedicate her stuff when she becomes a woman. And when she becomes a woman is when she gets married. So her toga praetexta gets dedicated to the household goddess Fortuna Virginalis. Not just to the household gods, but also to like the city founding goddess of virgins. It's weird. It's a patriarchy. So yeah, she also gets something kind of cool though. She gets her mundus muliebris, which is essentially the world of womanly stuff. So it's kind of a hope chest. Something borrowed, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue kind of comes from that. And she'd get jewelry, perfumes, all kinds of things for being her grown-up woman. Then she would wear a tunica alba. This is not the only culture where you see a bride wearing white on her wedding day. And she would get white shoes. And then she would get a yellow veil, a yellow hairnet called a reticulum, which is a little net. And then she would wear a bright orange veil, a flammeum, which totally looks like flame, and very often people mispronounce or mistranslate that. And then her attendant is a married woman, someone who already knows what to go through and all that, so she's going to tell her everything. Kind of like a maid of honor, but it's actually a matron of honor, the pronuba. And so her house is where it's going to be. The nuptials, are performed at her house, because then she is now being taken from her house to her new home. So it's a custody thing. And of course it's in the atrium. Now there's a official priest who comes to read the sacrifice. Yeah, there's an actual sacrifice. You go up to an altar because there's sacrifices. There's an official sacrifice that happens, usually a pig, and then everybody gets to eat the meat. And he reads the entrails. He's called the auspex. And if you pay him extra, he'll read it very nicely. And it's auspicious that way, you see. Then they have to sign the marriage contract then and there. Those are the tabulas nuptiales obsignare. Obsignare is to put your signature on the marriage tablets. And that's a marriage contract. And it joins the two houses. She is the property. She's kind of effectively the dowry in some ways, but more stuff comes with her. And then a bunch of people have to witness it. We have something very similar in our culture. You have to sign a wedding contract the day of, and you have to have witnesses. And then they join the couple's right hands, the dextras, the jungera, right? So they do that, and then they wrap them usually with something. And the pronuba does that. And then they have some kind of weird things that they say. First thing they say is, ubi tu Gaius, ego Gaia. So where you are Gaius, I am Gaia. In other words, I am now your wife. And then everybody shouts Feliciter, which is really cool, but we're going to get into some poetry soon. You're going to see some other weird things that they shout. It gets weirder. So then there's a procession to go home, a deductio to lead down, right, to lead away. And they're carrying torches by that point. Now, if you ever want to see something that looks similar to this, I strongly recommend you look at the wedding scene in the first Godfather movie. Actually, the wedding scene when Michael goes to Sicily, not the one that opens the movie. So they're carrying torches. These are the tie-dye. A tie-dye is a wedding torch, okay? And then they sing songs, and guests throw nuts. Now we throw rice or birdseed, because people thought that rice was bad for birds, but it's like you've never seen birds hanging out in a rice paddy. They throw nuts. Those are called nukes. And then he carries her over the threshold because she might slip, but also it's reminiscent of the time where the Romans would steal wives. And this is super limen. Super means above. Accusative takes the accusative, so limen is neuter. So super limen tolera. He's lifting her up over the threshold. Cool. Now the rest of it's going to be more glossary. So what I want you to do right now, is read page 285 all the way through, so you get a feel for how it goes. All right? I'm going to hit the button.